I'm Chris Brogan. I am here with Joshua Fields Millburn, and I am so excited, Josh, because this is our first project together, and you did all the work. It's called How to Write Better, and it's a writing class for fiction writers.
Yeah. Well, for me, I've written fiction for a really long time,
Yeah.
and so I had to really take apart my recipe and figure out what worked for me. I have the luxury of not really being beholden to the old way of learning, right? Because I didn't go through traditional writing program. I've just written for a really long time. I've published some books that people have found a lot of value in, and so I had to figure out what my value was and how I was able to translate that to the reader, and then break that apart so I could teach it into a class.
So in this, you're teaching people about writing habits. You're teaching them how to actually have some fun and interesting type of content, how to focus on everything to do with brevity and clarity, which is always, vital, I think, to writing modern stuff. No one sits around reading Call Me Ishmael, anymore. Melville wouldn't fly anymore, I don't think. You can fight me on that.
No, it's interesting. I think it's one of the most exciting times to be a writer, but times have certainly changed. And it's one of the things I talk about in both of the classes, but in particular the general class. I talk about, how do you get your work out there in front of people, but how do you make it beautiful first? And I think that's what's important. People are really excited about getting their work in front of people, but you have to have something that's great. You have to have something that's brief, concise, beautiful, so that it adds value to other people's lives. And then I'll show you also how to get it out there so that it actually does add value.
So this is kind of cool. You have the general writing class, and then you also have a fiction and narrative nonfiction class. In your classes, the way you've structured them, not only do they come with the email updates that people are used to when they take Human Business Works classes, but you've done a lot of video for this as well. What's the difference to you in sort of delivering that kind of education via video?
I've actually taught this class for 7 semesters now, and I've learned a ton. That old adage ends up being true. The teacher learns just as much as the students. And so over 7 semesters, what I've learned is that, you have to have a good mix. And so while each class has about 20 videos and it has, 100 or so pages of actual content, that's emails and it's expectations, and there's a ton of books and stuff to read, a bunch of resources, but there's also a community that I have set up online that you're interacting with the class. I don't want to just sit here and talk to you one-on-one. I'm not going to transfer a brain into your head. What I'm going to do is help you understand the recipe, help you work with other like-minded folks so that you all can reach the same goal, which is how to write better.
So as much as we have to tell you about, you have to just take a look at this. So take a look at the text and information down below. This is Joshua Fields Millburn. It's his class, but he's partnered up with us here at Human Business Works. I'm so glad you're available. By the way, what's your regular website for people to take a look at after they decide to commit to writing with you?
Certainly, yeah. It's theminimalists.com, where Ryan, my business partner, and we write about living more meaningfully with less stuff.
And that is how you get it done. JFM, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Chris.